Hello there. Thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully you can see me okay now. Oh, hi Karen, thanks for waiting. And Nikki and James and Caroline, hello to you all. Don't know what happened there. Had a bit of a problem flicking from one camera to another, so didn't actually work. But we seem to be here now. So, oh, Lizzie says she can see me, lovely. If you just joined us and you didn't see the oh good, Kimberly, you can see me as well. Oh good. We're live on both YouTube and Facebook at the moment, and it's the first time, so we're going to expect glitches, aren't we? And we certainly had one then. Hi Ruth in Southern Ireland. Hi Maddie and Nikki, and it took me 5 minutes, Kim, but we got there. Thank you, Lorena. So what we're going to do is I've got a couple of things to show you. I just want to give a plug to the website because we have some well, lots of new things going on there. So I just want to give that a quick mention. I want to mention my new book. I'm going to have a quick flick through there, and then from a request from last Saturday in the Facebook Live, I'm going to make a wall hanging storage pocket thing. Wall hang, well, that'll do. That's a good title, if anything, isn't it? So we're going to make one of those as well. So I'm juggling around on a rather small screen at the moment, so you'll have to excuse the side of my face a bit. Easiest tutorial for put a zip in for the first time. Julie, there's quite a few bags on YouTube, and because it's a video, then you can stop it and pause it and rewind it, so any of them really. Morning Sarah, hi Anna, and hi Sally and Leslie on Facebook. Kim's in London, so because everyone's locked down here, aren't they? But she is with us, as you can see. Andrew's made the ironing board, lovely. Alex wants the new book. Oh, thank you, Joanne. So if I don't get to read out all of your messages, because it's really rather busy this morning. Hi Dawn, Dawn's pre-ordered, thank you. A folded style cushion cover. That's a nice idea, Tony. I've not done that before. We'll have a think. Oh, Angela's not feeling very well. Oh, I'll get better soon. We're all willing you to feel better as we speak. Morning Sheila, morning Anne, lovely to be with you too. Lewis is crocheting this morning. Now I had a picture this morning from my eldest lad who lives in Norwich, and it's white in the garden and the dog's playing in the snow. We've got rain. Then my sister's got rain in Derby. Her daughter has got sunshine but it's all over the place here in the UK. So where are you? Maureen in northern Italy, what's your weather like? Are we all locked down? Can you go to work? Can you leave the house? Are you shut inside? Wet and snowy wet in Brighton. Linda's got heating and hot water. Congratulations. It's a dreadful time of year to be without your heater. Here anyway. Camper van decoration. There's a thought, Anna. I don't actually have a camper van to decorate, so that might be a bit of a problem. Morning Christine. Wet in Grimsby, said Gina. Morning Catherine. Cold in Kent. Oh, show my book. Now then, this is Sewing Room Essentials Dressmaking. So it's a book for beginner dressmakers. So it's very simple projects and very simple things to understand. It's not available yet, so it's actually launching on Sewing Street, which if you're outside the UK, Sewing Street is actually a shopping channel based here in the UK. Hi Anne. Hi Joyce. So it's launching there, I think, I haven't had it confirmed, but on the 7th of January. So there will be a few thousand signed copies available from Sewing Street. However, I will have some of these on my website on debbieshoresewing.com, and they are available to pre-order as well. So if you wanted one personally signed, then I can do that for you. When you do pre-order, if you want it signed, can you just put that you want it signed and who to? Because otherwise I'll just put my name in there. But if you want it to yourself, let me know. If it's going to be for a gift, just put in the message box, and I shall sign accordingly. I'm going to have very sore wrists in a few weeks' time. I've got thousands to actually order. Carol's friend's she's got to do some camper van. We should have a look at camper van. I'd love a camper van. So anyhow, So you can order from debbieshawsewing.com, but it will be a pre-order. I won't be able to post anything out until the 21st because Sewing Street have got a 2-week exclusivity. We can post around the world. It may be quite expensive, but if you want a signed book, that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, it will be available on every Amazon in every country. It'll probably be in Joann's in the US and Michael's and all of the usual places as well. Do you want to look inside? Let me show you. So this is, I said, basic. So if you've never made a dress before, if you found the jargon a little bit intimidating, if you don't understand it, this is the book for you. So I'll go through the tools and equipment that you need and explain a little bit about needle sizes and threads and things like that, and then tools and things that you might like. So there's a lot of things that you might like that you don't actually need, so I've explained that as well. So there is a lot about terminology. With things like interfacing and fabrics, I've kept it to what you're probably going to use. I know there are hundreds of different types of fabrics out there, but I haven't covered all of them. This isn't like a sewing Bible, it's a beginner's introduction. So cutting fabrics, making toiles, different types of seams, and then moving on to projects. There are 10 projects in here, and none of them are using a pattern. So you're going to measure yourself and make something that will fit you accordingly. There is a little bit of kind of refashioning as well. So if you've got items in your wardrobe already, that's probably an easy way to start your dressmaking, because you're altering what's already there. So you know the fabrics are going to be right because you've worn them, you've washed them. You know the style and the colour is going to be right because you've already worn the garments, but it's just changing things from one thing to another. Love that little skirt, that's one of my favourites in the whole book. Off the shoulder top, again, none of these are using patterns. So the dress, well, it is using a pattern, but from a t-shirt. So that's, I just wanted to show you that because it's always really exciting when something new comes out like this. Got lots more books in the pipeline. Hi Muna, is it Muna? Oh, lovely name. In Istanbul, us as in Sweden. Hi Tracy and Nikki. Oh yes, there's no dressmaking classes, is there, because of lockdown? Debbie, the book's for you if you've never made anything before. I think when you see, particularly with dressmaking, because it's got to be right because you're going to wear it, and it can be really intimidating, and you see lovely patterns out there and you don't understand what all the markings and the notches and what tools do I need to make this, and it can be very confusing. So I thought we'd demystify it somewhat. So that's that. I know, she's gorgeous, isn't she? That I'm going to show you. Both of my granddaughters are in here. So that's sort of Vienna. And, oh, there they are, look. And that's Beatrix. So by the time I come to writing the next book, there'll be a little boy in there as well. You've got to get the grandchildren working, haven't you? So let me show you. I'm going to show you a couple of new fabrics on the website because I was quite excited about these. Last week, thank you Nancy, I put out a question saying what would you like? If you weren't aware, if you're new to us, I do have a website called debbieshawsewing.com, and I run it with my daughter Kim. So she's working from home at the moment because of lockdown and everything, so it's all a bit odd at the moment. But anyway, that's by the by. But we're asking what you'd like. So you wanted lots more dressmaking fabrics, you wanted baby fabrics, and you wanted fleece. So we have new fleeces on there, and we've got some Winceyette. Oh, do you remember? Lovely warm sheets. We've got some Winceyette brush fabric, brush cotton, and you asked for cork. So we got your cork. If you haven't used cork when you're sewing before, oh congratulations Nikki, this is a wonderful medium to work with, and it's washable, it's dryable, it is sustainable. It's one of the most sustainable fabrics on the planet. It's incredibly strong, it's incredibly soft, and it's a lot easier to work with than you might think. So a lot of people are using this instead of leathers. It's not quite as heavy as leather, but for bag making it really does make a lovely, substantial, unusual type of bag. But I'm thinking things like book covers, the wall hanging that I'm going to make would look great as well. Morning Debbie, morning Paul. It's gorgeous, isn't it? This one has like a little bit of a gold fleck going on. So it's tiny little ditzy flowers with the gold flecks on it as well. And it's really wide. This is pre-cut, by the way. So I don't really think you're going to need much more than that for a project, but that's the size that you're going to get. And then the other one we've got for you is this one. So a little bit more traditional. I think this is what, it's not quite as wide. One of them's wider than the other one, which is why the price is slightly different. You can iron the creases out by the day. Don't worry about working with this when you get home. Morning Maureen and Eleanor. Always wanted to make something, never understood everything. Oh, thank you, Joanne. That's very kind of you. Hi, Garnet. I really didn't think this was going to work, you know. For a start, trying to juggle everything on one monitor was a bit of a test, but I can actually see everybody. It's lovely. Sonia's been sewing for years, but useful to understand the numbers on the machine needles. Yeah, it's always a bit like that, isn't it? Oh, hi, Garnet in Oregon. Oh, thank you, Nancy. The book's available March the 9th. That's in between my two sons' birthdays. One's on the 8th and one's on the 10th. How's that? Morning, Vanessa. Morning, Jackie. Should we do this every week? I quite like being on both platforms. Again, if you're new to us, hello. Certainly on YouTube. And it's cork, Asa. It's made from cork. Interfacing if you made a tote bag. I don't think it would do, you know. I think that would be absolutely fine for a tote bag. It's really quite firm. Snowy in Colchester. I was just saying, oh yeah, on YouTubers particularly, because I know not everybody uses Facebook. Every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock I do a Facebook live chat like this, and we make something. So the projects are really small and quick because we've only got about an hour or so. You don't have to be here all day watching me make a dress. So we'll have a quick chat, and I'll try and talk to as many of you like Susan in Montana as I possibly can. And have a little bit of an interaction. It's nice to have all of your feedback as well. So at the last Saturday in the month is on my Half Yard Sewing Club Facebook page, but it's still a Facebook Live at 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So, and it's really busy. I think last Saturday we had 26,000 views. So I thought it'd be nice to do this on YouTube at the same time to cover those that don't use Facebook. So if that's you, let me know, should we keep it up? We can do this every week if you like. Sarah's in lockdown, made many items from YouTube. Oh, thank you. Birthday in March. Alison, happy birthday for then. Hemgain, is that how you pronounce your name? From India. Oh, I use any kind of materials for bags. I like canvas, I like cotton, I like quilting cotton. I'll use dressmaking fabrics, I'll use cork, I'll use faux leathers. You can use any type of fabric, but if it's a lighter weight, I'd put some interfacing or padding behind it to make it a little bit more substantial, shall we say. Would I need interfacing? Yes, Janet, you would do. Depends what kind of firmness you want. Let me show you the two that I use. Got little bits here. Oh, it's like I knew you were going to ask the question, isn't it? These are the two for bag making, interfacings that I use more than anything. I think interfacing, stabilizers, interlinings, fleeces, waddings, battings, it's all very confusing, isn't it? So we'll just call them interfacings. This is Bosal H640. No, it's not. It's Bosal single-sided fusible foam. And this gives a nice sturdy bag. But it's really, oh thanks Kim, I shall do it then. The cork's about, I think it's £9 and £10 for half a metre. That was Anne. So it'll make a bag that stands up, but it's still nice and soft and squishy. So it's easy to use. Meaning when, you know, if you're bagging a bag out, so bagging as in you put a lining in, then turn the whole thing the right side out. This is really easy to turn because it's so soft. But it gives you a stability. Sometimes with very thick or heavy stabilizers, if you're making a smaller bag, they can be quite difficult to turn through. And this irons really well as well. I know different brands make it. Valiseline do their version. I've only used the Bosal, so that's all I can recommend. But if you give it a good old blast of steam, even when it's been really, really scrunched up, the creases just drop away. So it's a perfect bag making interfacing. The other one that I like to use if I'm making a softer bag, so if I'm making something with a drawstring or a tote, not a tote, yeah, a drawstring bag, gift bag, or a makeup bag or a smaller bag, then I will use Valiseline. Now this is an H630, I think this one is. Just say down the side if I can see it somewhere down there. This one's H630, which is really fine. It's about 1/8 of an inch in thickness, and it is, oh thank you Donna, oh go on. And it's got knobbly bits on the back, so that's the bit that goes on the back of your fabric, and when you iron it, that sticks on. And it's quite soft, but it gives a nice feel to your fabric. So that's H630. H640 is exactly the same but slightly thicker. So I hope that's answered your questions. Those are what I use more than anything. Pauline's having a nosy on the dark side, on the YouTube side. Feel free. Novice sewers, Letty, but started watching on YouTube. Oh, good. Do you know, that is the nicest thing I ever hear. I tell you what, Debbie. Oh, no, I'll come back in a minute. The biggest compliment I ever get paid is, just as you said there, Letty. I didn't think I could do it. I watched you, and I can now do it. It makes the job worthwhile, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Particularly in this day and age when we have, you know, all of this social media, and I can talk to you like all over the world all at the same time, which is amazing. Sewing isn't such a lonely profession anymore. You're not stuck in a little sewing room and not speaking to anybody. I just think it's lovely how we can all interact like this. Linda, enjoy your book, lovely. A sharp needle, that's a good one. Oh, sorry, talking to somebody else, not me. Anyway, should we do some sewing? I think we should do a bit of sewing. I'm going to use a Bosal foam for this as well. So I'm going to make quite a small hanger. I was going to make a really, really long one, but I'd only got 1/2 metre of the fabric I wanted to use. So I'm using a little coat hanger. These are really cute. And I've already put my Bosal on the wrong side of my fabric. So I'll measure all this for you. And I've cut the Bosal 1/2 inch shorter all the way round. So let me get my ruler. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Alex and Debbie, who just mentioned on Facebook about the cork. I also do a live stream on my Debbie Shaw Sewing website on a Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And I was thinking I'll do a cork demo then, if that's okay, because I only came in this morning. I'm not quite prepped for it as yet. So that's debbieshawsewing.com on Wednesday at 2. I'll give you a reminder later on, and in fact I'll post on Facebook and on YouTube beforehand anyway. Thank you, Jenna, and let you know those videos stay on the website as well. So if you can't join me live and you wanted a demo with the cork, you want to see the demo with the cork, then you can just take a look back on the website and see them back again. Right, here we go. So let me do that so I can still see you. Lengthwise I've got 20 inches. This is for the Bosal, and then widthwise I've got 12 inches. And the reason for the width and the length is because it's the same width as my little coat hanger, and I'm just going to put 2 straps going over there. I was going to kind of encase it all, but I like the coat hanger, so that's that. And the length is purely because that's the length of fabric I had to have available. You could make that even longer if you like. Deborah's got 4 sewing machines. I've only got 1. Well, actually this one's on loan. It's my daughter's. I do need to replace it. So I cut the fabric to 1/2 inch bigger all the way around, because I mentioned bagging out earlier on. I'm going to bag this out, and that means that I'm going to eventually sew these 2 pieces right sides together. So I'm forgetting what camera I'm on and everything now, and then turn it through. So if I was to make the foam to the same size as the fabric, when I turn it through, the edge of the bosal will be folded, and it does like to fight back. So it's just a lot easier and neater just to do this. So when I do sew it together, I'm going to sew up against the bosal. But we need some pockets on the front first. This is lovely to quilt into as well, if you've ever tried that. I shan't do it now because it'll take us ages, but you can really see like the deep lines as the stitches sink into it. I could kind of do a cross-hatch quilting across that. That would look really lovely. But we shan't for this because we'll be here all day. Kerry can't see the live this week on the website, the hot water bottle. Oh, we'll have a look at that. I thought I'd sorted that. No, the hangers are on my website actually, on debbieshawsewing.com. Wish I could all meet up. Oh, yeah, it's odd times, is it not? Thank you, Nanny. Oh, Gina, go on. Right, we need some pockets. So I'm going to get my cutting mat up, turn my iron on, oops, knock that on the floor. That's what we need to do. I don't mind being here all day actually. I'm almost up to date with things I need to do. It's quite nice to have a bit of time. I've also got some coordinating fabrics. And talking of it, let me just show you these, because I didn't know quite what to use. This is a whole collection of fabrics, so these all go with it. But whenever I use a pattern fabric, and I know I say it a lot, but I like a plain to break it up a bit. So if I was to make pockets out of this, it gets a little bit confusing, and the same with that. But if I was to make the pockets out of those and then put a little blue trim across the top, it breaks everything. Sure, we could do that, couldn't we? I wasn't going to do that, but we could do that. I kind of like this one. Right, so we'll do that then. Making it up as I go. Got that spare. So I'm going to have, let's have a look at this. We'll have one pocket, let's just do 2 rows of pockets across there, and we'll make them 6 inches deep. And we'll have them both in this, or I could actually, the blue's nice, but I've got some of that as well. And I've got some of that. No, we'll go for the blue. So, happy birthday, Angela Anderson. Everybody say happy birthday to Angela Anderson. She's 50 today. Yeah, Pauline, we'll go for the blue. Hi, Harun. I'm very good, thank you. How are you? So let's turn this. Just going to cut the selvage off because we don't want selvages, do we? And I'm making a wall hanging little storage type thing. I don't know what they're called. Hanging pockets? Something like that. Let's chop this selvage off. Doing live classes on Zoom. I haven't actually, Joyce. I tell you what, I'm just too busy. Zoom's, I mean, there's a lot of people doing it, and I think it's a great idea. But the prep that goes into that, and organising it all, and prepping the demos and promoting it, and it's I just don't have time to do it. I'm working 7 days a week at the moment, so it's worth having a think about, but not at the moment, I'm afraid. Oh, James, that apron in the background is from my Half Yard Sewing Club. That is the secondary January project this month. I'm glad you like it. No, I don't find that with Bosal. If you give it a good blast of steam and make sure it's cool before you turn it, I find it sticks really well. Looking like orange, but no, I haven't. I honestly, I haven't found it. I have used other interfacings before, like the fleeces that go knobbly. That's a load of thread on the floor, but I haven't found that with Bosal. Linda, I do work in my sleep. The number of times I wake up in the middle of the night thinking, oh, I could do that. The number of times I'm up in the middle of the night doing that. Wouldn't want it any other way. So I'm cutting this to 6 inches wide, and I will need 2. Now if you're a little bit more frugal than me, you'll use a different fabric on the lining side because you're not going to see it, but just for speed's sake we'll keep it the same. And I've got plenty of fabric to play with anyway. I've got a shop. I haven't got Decolite, Angie. I'll be honest, I don't know what that is. What's Decolite? Let me know. We'll have a look. Hello, Jadranka in Germany. I hope I'm getting your names right. Right. I'm going to give these an iron with my ironing board, which was made in a Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago. So I don't like working with creased up fabric. Don't know about you. Lovely. These are on my website, Sarah. debbieshawsewing.com. Right, so let's give that a press and that a press. These need to be wider because I'm going to put little pleats in some of them to give it a little bit of body. So let's do that. We'll bring this back down again and have a look how wide we are. Far too wide, but that's fine. I'd rather have them far too wide and cut them down. So I'm going to have like a little pleat in the bottom here. I think just in the middle pocket. Not too deep, otherwise you'll find it all flops forward. I think that'll be fine, and we'll have 2 rows of pockets like that. And these are, actually they are very wide. Let's chop them down a little bit. So I would say cut 4 pieces of fabric, and oh, I've lost my scissors. They're normally right here in front of me. I've got little diddy scissors here, so bear with me while I do little tiny cutting. Tell you what would be easier. I'll measure these again in just a second. There we go. And again, these will need cutting down anyway. So 4 pieces of fabric, 6 inches wide, deep and 16 inches wide is what we're going to do. And then we'll sew these together to make a tube. So you can go down there. I've lost my foot pedal underneath a pile of cork. You can come over here. So we'll have these wrong sides together, and I'm just going to sew across the top and across the bottom. Hi, Agnes in Malaysia. We're quite international here at Debbie Shaw Sewing, you know. Right, so we'll just sew straight across. Show you what I'm doing. Can you see me there? Donna's in South Carolina. Top piece is upside down. Oh, is it? I didn't think it was directional. We'll have a look. I can always turn it around. One of these is a lining anyway. So there we go. The projects that I'm going to bring you as well, you don't need any fancy Shahjahan. Shahjahan? That's a lovely name. Hi Marie in Australia. It's the same with the book. Any of the projects that I bring you, I very rarely use anything other than a straight stitch. So you don't need a fancy sewing machine. So if you're a beginner sewer and you've got a very basic machine, maybe you've got a hand crank machine, it doesn't matter. I think if you're bag making, you might need something a little bit more substantial, but I like to aim the projects that I do at anybody at any level. What have I missed? Oh, we haven't missed much, Valerie. We were all talking about you telling rude jokes, and we even had the Chippendales on for a minute, but you haven't missed very much apart from that, really. Oh, Elizabeth, welcome back again. I'm making a wall hanging pocketed affair with a coat hanger, Lizzie. Whoop, not wobbly there. That's talking and sewing at the same time. Gloria, hello from where? Danny's in Bulgaria. Got lots of new people along today, all names that I don't recognise anyway. Hi Maria in Gibraltar. Morning Diane. Okay. Now you could make, so I was going to make a really long one, because I thought it might be quite nice to have pocket hanging for the whole of the length of the door, and I think it's a really useful area actually. Sounds like there's a tractor outside. A useful area of storage, back of doors, because it's normally wasted space, isn't it? So I was going to do a really, really long one to go all the way down the door, but didn't have that much fabric. Yeah, I've never sewn on a treadle sewing machine, Jean, but I do remember an aunt of mine used to have one, and when we went round, you know, you go and visit. We used to go visiting on a Sunday, and we go and visit at her house, and I can remember sitting there just rocking my feet on it and just loving that sensation. They're wonderful machines, aren't they? Love to get hold of one of those. Okay, so I've made a tube. Oh, Erica, thank you. I love being here on a Saturday morning. I cancel work to do this on a Saturday morning. I think it's a lovely thing to do. I enjoy it, well, hopefully as much as you do. Sonia, Christmas card is a good idea. Could do that. Hello, Margaret in Guernsey. Welcome along. So I'm just ironing this with the seams on the top. I was going to put a border on, wasn't I? See that again? That's because I'm talking and doing it at the same time. Never mind. We'll do it without the border. Oh, I'll tell you what we could do. We could do a secondary pocket. We'll do that. To make the most of that blue fabric that I was talking about earlier on, then forgot all about because I was talking. Can you hear that rumbling outside? I'm sure it's a tractor. Hope it's not in the garden. Morning, Alison. Happy New Year to you too. Dawn's in Suffolk. Jack is making bags. Oh, Angie, Bobby. She's happy enough. It's really sunny outside at the moment. She's happy enough we're going for walks and things, but a bad leg is actually getting really thin, so I'm a bit worried about it. Still going to physio every week, and they say they're happy with her. Lovely. So I've got two of those. Let's have a look how this is going to work then, because I'm going to put another pocket behind them. So we'll have one of those and one of those. And then I wanted to use the blue. So I wanted to make, I think I'll do another pocket that goes behind that pocket. We can do that. We'll have two of those. So this one I'm going to measure. Let me move that iron pad out of the way and that out of the way and get this back in again, and that'll need ironing. So again, two pieces because I like them lined, and I think these can be 7.5 inches deep, so they will be 1.5 inches deeper than the pockets. That will work well. So again, off with the selvages. Right, we've had a bit of a, oh, my back again. I think our internet dropped down and came back again. But we seem to be back now. Sorry about that, don't know what happened there. Gone again on Facebook. I'll carry on. We'll carry on. Right. So I normally do, oh, Facebook's gone again. I'm blaming the tractor. Don't know what's happening there. I think we might have a little bit of an internet issue, which I can't really do anything about, so bear with me. Yeah, tractors. We blame tractors. Who was I talking to? I've lost you now, you've gone. Back on Facebook. Lovely. Oh, okay, we'll just carry on then. I normally do a live Facebook every week on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. I haven't done very many YouTube lives, so because purely time-wise, I'm just going to stand up a bit because my ruler's moving. I'm getting a wonky line. But I kind of thought now we can do both channels at the same time. We could do this every week because I think that would be a nice thing to do. So let me know what you think, if you can join me every week. I know it's not the perfect time, depending on whereabouts in the world you are. But it will be 11 o'clock in the morning UK time. So 6, 7.5 is going to be the... That's it. Can't sit down and cut. I'm just going to iron these before I sew them, because I don't like working on creased up fabric. Go there. So we'll give that a quick press. And then I'll just bring my chair in. Bear with me. I need a bigger studio. And then we're going to sew these together into a tube, just like last time. Yeah, that, Joan, every week. We'll do it every week then. We'll just do it every week because we can. Fine, okay, lovely. Sometimes technology just takes things out of our hands, doesn't it? Oh, Kim, thank you. Oh, Christine's having to watch. That's one advantage of being on two platforms. You can watch on one and listen on another. Beverly, I go blurry every week, particularly after 9 o'clock at night. Thanks, Jean. Okay, let's cut these down so they're the same size as this. And again, they'll need cutting down a little bit more as well, because it is too long. Linda, I think I'm back again next Sunday, so I'm not on Sewing Street tomorrow. I've got a couple of weeks off, so I should be back next Sunday. Right. And then I think I'm done with that. Then I'm going to sew these two together into a tube like I did previously. And again, if you've got any requests, longer projects like the bag making and homewares and things like that on YouTube, I'll record those and upload those. But if you've got any requests for quick projects that we can do in a live on a Saturday morning, then just come and let me know. And we'll see what we can do. This was a request from last week. Oh, Dawn's getting a new sewing room. Needs to start planning. Good lighting. I like to sew on a... Missed a bit there, I think. Did I miss a bit? I certainly did. I like to sew on... I use quite a high stool as well. So, I mean, at the moment this is studio, not sewing room, but I'm on quite a high bar stool because this is quite high. And I like to sew with my arms at right angles. What do you sit on when you're sewing? In the sewing room, I have a nice little padded swivel stool on wheels, and it's got a back on it, so I have to sit upright, because as a sewer, it's very easy to do this. And it's very easy to hunch your shoulders, which isn't really very good for you at all. So anyway, Dawn, that's where I'd start. Lighting and seating, really important. Do the second side here. So I'm literally just sewing these into a tube. Did get a bit wonky then, but I'm talking at the same time. Oh, Margaret's missed the beginning. The videos will stay here, Margaret, on YouTube if you wanted to watch right from the start. One piece of thread that's fighting with me. Heather's on a faux leather dining chair. That sounds very posh. Chippendales have gone now, Susan. They came here, did their bit, and went again. Wasn't impressed, to be honest. A gaming chair with a high back. Gary, my husband, sits on a gaming chair on his PC. It's very bouncy. A teddy bear. Difficult without a pattern, Julie, but we'll have a think. puffy cushion. That's a good idea, Jean. I do like a high chair. No, particularly if I'm doing free motion embroidery, that's the worst thing. I have to make a conscious kind of decision not to hunch my shoulders because I get really tense when I'm doing that. I think it's just trying to be so precise. Hello, Helen in Australia. It's disappearing off my screen for some reason. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? If you, Kim, if you really think about your body when you're sewing, I'm exactly the same. And you don't realise until you stop and you think, oh, my shoulders are aching. So every so often, we'll relax, just relax. Oh, we've got a funny sound in Devon apparently. Hi Odie. Everything seems to be okay at my end. A sewing machine mat without bias binding. Okay. Right. Nice in Northern Ireland. Kid shorts, t-shirt. There are things with patterns though, that's my problem. Right, so I've turned those the right side out and I do need the ironing pad again. Just give these a quick press. A cushion with a button back. Bias binding. No, see, I love bias binding. Alright, let's do this. I just think it gives like a nice outline to your work. And I love hand sewing as well. And I find that quite relaxing. So if I'm doing bias binding, if I was making this wall hanger with bias binding around it, I'd sit and hand sew the back of it, even though that you don't see it, because I enjoy it so much. Kim, my daughter, on the other hand, doesn't like hand sewing at all. Even if she's got a little opening to sew clothes, doesn't like it at all. Love it. Kirsty, I'm making a wall hanging pocket affair. I don't know what they're called, but one of those things that hangs on a coat hanger with pockets on the back of it to hang on the back of your door. Hello, is it Neat? Oh no, Nigelin in Istanbul. Sorry if I keep getting your names wrong, by the way. Hi Debbie in Georgia. My little iron, Annie, is a Prim mini iron. It is fabulous. It's a proper little steam iron. Got them on the website at a very competitive price. This one's down here all the time and it's the main iron for the studio. It's a proper iron. It's not a toy, even though it looks like one. So it gets very hot and it does produce a nice amount of steam as well. So I'm just popping that corner up there. Then I think we'll do a bit of top stitching just across the top of each pocket before we put them together, because that'll hold the pocket together nicely and it gives a nice finishing touch, I think. So we're going to lengthen the stitch. We'll go up to a 3 and just straight stitch straight across the top. So my foot pedal's migrating. There we go. And I'm just using the edge of my foot as a guide. So that's around about 1/4 inch. Well, hello, Bob. We'll just go to Bob Cam in a minute because she's here. Hello. What have you been doing? Playing outside? Oh, that's it then. A brief hello. She's gone back outside again. It's actually really sunny out there now. Probably freezing, but you know. Has anybody snowed in? Anybody up there in Scotland? Or any other freezing cold country in the world? And what's it like in Australia? And Rabia? What's it like in Pakistan? What's your weather like there? Buttons to close it instead of a flap. Don't know what you're on about, Haroon. Stop it. Japanese hand sewing. Oh, Heather's birthday on Tuesday. Hello, Heather.
Coffee.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wasn't expecting that. Thank you very much. just had a mad visit from Bob. She came in, jumped up there and went back out again. I get coffee and everything.
The postman arrived, that's why.
Oh, it's the postman. She adores the postman. Olga in Russia. Oh, it's always really cold in Russia, isn't it, from what I hear. Sharon in Pennsylvania. Hello. Is it Mari? Your birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday to you. 40 centimetres of snow in Finland. We had a fluttering. That's all we've had. I'm making a wall hanging pocket thing, Mari. Kim's got a birthday on Tuesday as well. Birthday time of year. Right, so I'm just top stitching across the top. Like this. And then we'll start to make the pockets. It's actually come together quite quickly, really. There we go. So let's push that. Nearly went. I would have been in trouble then because I can't reach down there because I'm tethered by my microphone. Let's snip this. Hello, Rita from India. Rose watching in France. English isn't so good. Well, it looks pretty good to me. It looks better than my French. Elizabeth in Bracken. What is that? Hello, Mia in Sweden. Sunny and cold in Scotland. Oh, the snow's all gone in Aberdeen, and you're the furthest north, aren't you? So good. Nikki's daughter was 21 yesterday. Oh, I know, minus 17. Right, anyway, let's get on with this. So this is my backing. Again, if you just joined us, wait until after the video is finished and have a rewind, and I'll give you all of the measurements and everything and what I'm using and how that was measured and all that kind of thing. Then we're going to have these pockets here. Hello, Inara in Italy. I think a little border at the bottom would be nice. And I need ironing again, really, but I'll do that. Hey, well, no, let's do it. Gonna do it, we do it. Good morning from Atlanta, Joyce. Hello, sunshine in Yorkshire. Hi, Donna. Sunny in Swindon. Bias binding. You'd like a bias binding demo? Shall we do next? Let's do next Saturday. Oh no, next Saturday is my half yard club. Next Saturday we're going to make a purse because that's the half yard club Facebook Live, and with the club. This bag is let me show you, that bag behind me is the main project. That's the one with the video that comes with it, and I thought we'd make a purse to match. So that's going to be next Saturday, and I will post a picture on Facebook to show you what I'm making if you want to have a sew along as well. Wednesday on the website we're going to sew with cork, so that's that one sorted. So maybe the week after we'll do bias binding. We'll do a project with bias binding. That gives me plenty of time to have a think about what I'm doing as well, which is a good thing. Sunny wet Dorset. A door organiser. I'm making a door organiser. Karen, thank you. So Nanny so. Now then, Kim, if you're watching at home, would you mind putting a post, you've probably done it already, to the Half Yard Club? I'm going to talk about it really quickly because that's something that we're going to be doing next Saturday morning. But basically it's a subscription website. Every single month you will have a project with a video and downloadable instructions. You will need a printer, but you can be anywhere in the world because there's nothing to post out. And that project can be anything from a bit of quilting or dressmaking. Next month we're making a reversible jacket. This month is the bag. Could be toy making, homewares, cushion covers. There's a really wide genre of things that we make. Then you have a secondary project which doesn't have a video, like this month is the apron, a reversible apron. Next month is going to be working with fabric strips. Don't know what I'm going to make yet, but that'll be something very different. And then on top of that you have a block of the month, which I can't show you because I can't reach it, So you have 3 projects every month for £5.99, or I think I can't remember what it is. It's anywhere in the world. I can't remember what it is in the States, I'm afraid. If you wanted to take a look and join for free for a month, then there is a code that you need to put in. So if you go to all the W's, halfyardsewingclub.com, you'll need to go all the way through to pay. You'll need to put your credit card details in there. That's just the way that it's been set up. Can't do anything about that. But we won't take a payment unless you put in the code WELCOME18 in capital letters. So if Kim can put a link up if she's watching. If not, I'll put a link on the show notes after. It's okay, Haroon. It's okay. I'll put a link on there so you can take a look. But you get a whole month for free, so you can have a look around. When you do join, you will have access to 2 years worth of projects as well. Okay. Are we over it now, Haroon? Good. Linda's first grandchild joining in June. Oh, nice idea for baby things too, isn't it? You can put nappies and wipes and all kinds of things in here. I'm very good, thank you. Sylvia's just finished the everyday bag. Okay, so this is what we've got. Let's get back to some sewing. So I think we'll have, if I put a little pleat in here and in here, that will give me 3 pockets at the front. I can put a dividing line down here, and then, two pockets at the front with the pleat, and then I've got 2 big pockets at the back as well. Can you see that? So that's what I'm going to do. So let's do the pleat. I'm making sure that this fabric isn't too small. So we'll do that first of all, and I'm going to pin through both pockets like so. And the same on this side, so I'll try and get those the same distance apart. Let's see if that fits. That's fine. So that is 1 pocket in the centre. I think would be too big because it'll flop forward. However, if you wanted a big pocket, you can always put a flap over the top with a little button on it or something like that. Right, so that's that. And then the second pocket, do you know, I think I'm just going to keep that flat. I think I'm going to keep it just like that, and then it'll be nice and tight. You could even keep pens and things in it, couldn't you, if you just made really small ones. So that can go straight on there, actually. They both can go straight on there. Right, so that's going to hang up the top there. So let's make sure these are straight. I'm lining that up against the edge of the table there. And again, if you wanted to measure and mark, you can do. Make your pockets bigger, make them smaller, entirely up to you. And because I'm pinning into Bosal, I can't get the pins to come in and out, so I'm just going to stab my pins inside there. Do you mind stopping with the rude comments? Because it's really quite embarrassing and it's a bit childish as well. I will go through afterwards and remove any of those, but you can be really quite offensive. We're a rather nice bunch of people here, so if you don't mind that, rather not look at things like that. It's not big and it's not clever, as they say. You do need to print patterns. I'm assuming you're talking about the Half Yard Club there. You will need to print patterns for those. Right, so let's sew straight across the bottom, like so. So I'm going to go through, where am I? Let's have a look here. I'm only leaving a tiny border at the bottom here. Because I don't want to lose too much of the pocket behind. I'm on quite a long stitch. Now you can hear the machine slowing down a little bit. That's because I'm sewing through so many layers of fabric. Like so. That was it, Lizzie. That is the code. It's capital letters, all in uppercase. Right, then I'm going to sew across the bottom of the second one in just the same way. Like so. Mary, do you know how, if you know how to do that, I'm quite new to being live on YouTube. I'm quite happy to assign a moderator. So does that mean that they can remove those comments straight away? We'll have a look at that because this is really quite ridiculous. Right, so let's have a look here. I'm just going to take those pins out because that's moved a little bit. That's better. And that goes back down there. Right, so I'm going to divide these into sections. Actually, I'm going to sew just down the edge. No, am I going to do that? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm just going to sew down the top of the pockets here just to hold those two pieces in place. So just down that little bit there. And down this one. And down here. Margaret, if your thread breaks, try changing your thread, try a different brand of thread. What else can we do? Have a look at your tensions, but not necessarily the tension dial that's on the front of the machine. If you have a look at the actual route that the thread's going and make sure it's clear. As in, if you have a spool of thread that has the sticky bits on the end, sometimes those sticky bits can catch on the spool holder and stop that from turning fluidly. So therefore it's going to make the thread tight, and that could break it. Make sure the thread's not wrapped around the spool holder on the other end because that can make it tight and break it. Do make sure that, again, that all of the passages that you thread through are clear and that you're not using a very thick thread with a regular needle because that can kind of slow down the flow of the thread that goes through the needle, and that can help it to break as well. Let's just do a little bit of, so where the bottom of the pocket is, oh, you've gone there, where the bottom of the pocket is here, I'm just going to sew a few stitches along here, just along the fold, and that's going to help to keep the pocket in place. A new needle can help. Yes, it can do, absolutely. Try a new needle. Because when you think about it, you know, you've got the there's lots of channels that your thread goes through before it actually gets to the needle, and actually one of them is the channel that's at the front of the needle. If you were to take a very close look at a sewing machine needle, there's a groove that runs down the front of the needle that the thread goes into before it goes through the eye of the needle. So it means that the thread and the needle go through at the same time instead of having a lump of thread at the front, and that's going to make a hole in your fabric that may be too big. So that's kind of part of the flow. So if you've got a thread that's the wrong size, or a needle that's the wrong size, or a needle that's even got some build-up of dirt or something inside it, then that can restrict the flow. It can be something ever so simple. If anything, you know, if it's still breaking, try just cleaning the machine and rethreading the needle. It might be something as simple as that works. Okay, so we've got this. I'm going to do one straight line down the centre here. So I've got two pockets that have got a bit of a gusset going on. And with this one, I'm going to do some dividers all the way across it. So I don't need the pins in there now. So So this one's straight down the centre. I'd normally measure that. Wrong camera again. There we go. And mark it so I know it's exactly in the centre, but I'm kind of doing that by eye. And we'll sew straight down. Just smoothing that out because there's a lot of fabric there and I don't want it to crumple up. And then underneath here, let's have another one straight down the centre. Like this. And I'll make smaller pockets with this one, so you can make pen pockets. Again, I'd measure that and put a proper divider on it. Alright, so let's do this. So these will be quite small pockets. If you're making this for baby things, then you're going to need that a bit bigger. So I've got lots of small pockets there. If you wanted two small on the front and one large one on the back, you could have done that before I actually sewed the whole thing together. So you can make this kind of bespoke. Have a think what you're going to use it for and then decide how big you want the pockets to be. Or how many or how deep you're going to make it as well. So again, I'm just trying to stretch this out a little bit. That's it. So the fabric doesn't all crumple up. Thank you, Lynn. It's nice fabric, isn't it? Right, so that's that. That'll do for that. So it's looking good, isn't it, actually? Quite, I like that. Let's cut down the edge bits here. So I'm just trimming away these long bits. I love that machine cuts the end of the threads. Oh, it's got good and bad points, Rian. Sometimes it can cut the thread a bit too short, but it's yeah, it is quite nice. It's supposed to be a thread saving thing, I think. Oh, thank you, Linda. Learned to sew on a treadle machine. Oh, lovely. Dog walking tide is a good idea as well. So let's just trim this all back. And then down here. Patch day, yes, thank you. Thanks for everyone for helping out there. Let's not mention it again. Little thread there. Right, now I need two things to hang it up with. So we'll do that in the key fabric, I think. Whoops, look good. Just seeing if I had any small scraps, but I don't. So I'm going to make them 1 inch wide. So let's make this 4 inches wide, like so. And I think we'll have 6 inches long. That should be enough. Then we're going to iron this, put the guard on that. A Janome. I like Janome machines. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Nigun. This isn't Elna. Elna and Janome are the same company, so I think they're nice, reliable sewing machines. Lizzie, keep trying. If you can't get it to work, drop us an email and we shall sort it out. It might not be till Monday. I'll get one of the tech team to get in touch with you, but we will get you sorted. It's info@halfyardsewingclub.com. So again, I'll put all of this in the links underneath when I've finished. Kim's got to scan and cut. What you're going to be making? Are you paper crafting as well? The ruler I'm using is this one's an Alpha. I like a 24 by 6 inch ruler. And I use inches, not centimetres. Fabric wrapping. That's a good idea. Right, let's do this. Don't think we need that. Don't think we need that. So I'm just going to sew down each side of this. just to make it nice and neat. Lost my foot pedal again. A Scan and Cut, Alison, is it's a digital cutting machine. Cuts out shapes for mainly paper crafting. So again, just sewing down both sides. I do have my own fabric line. I have most of it on my website on Debbie Shaw Sewing. It's under Debbie Shaw, and I bring out 2 collections, maybe 3 collections a 2 collections a year. The next one's out in May. A window blind. So I've got a window blind tutorial on, you could use H640, be a bit floppy though. I've got a window blind tutorial on YouTube, but I am going to be updating it. But there is one there, Roman blind. A Japanese bag, a Japanese knot bag. We could do one of those. Right, so there we go. These I'm going to put to the top. Needs to go down around the coat hanger, so I'm not going to loop them. So I'm just going to put those, remember I'm sewing up to the edge of the bow saw, so that's going to be my final width. So I'll put those about 3 inches in from each side. And just pin that. And that. And then we'll just sew those in place. Just in the seam allowance, so just to the fabric, not to the bow saw. And then across here. Kim, the Alice in Wonderland fabrics are lovely, aren't they? There's a cushion behind me that Kim made, if you saw that. That's that. Okay. Then we're going to sew the whole thing together. So let's take the back, and we'll have these right sides together. So I've just got a backing piece the same size as the front, and do we have some clips? Right, I'm not going to put some clips around there, but I don't seem to have, they might have been what I knocked on the floor earlier on. So let's turn this over, and I'm going to sew close to the edge of the bow saw. Doesn't matter if you kind of clip into it, but I'm just going to try and sew as close to the edge as I can. In fact, let me put some pins just in the fabric. That would be a better idea, wouldn't it? So just in here. And there, just to stop it slipping while I'm sewing. And I love it when you talk to each other. I think a lot of people make friends. Sarah, we should have Bosel on the website. If you go to the search bar and put Bosel in, or I think there's a waddings and interfacings page. Thanks, Leah. Right, where was I? Where's the bottom? I'm going to start sewing from the bottom and move my coffee out the way so it doesn't get knocked over. And I need to leave a turning gap so I can turn it the whole thing the right side out. So let's go backwards and forwards a little bit and sew to the corner, stop with the needle in the down position and turn around. So I'm trying not to sew through the bow, so it doesn't matter if you do. But if you can keep your stitches right up to the edge would be the best place for them. And it's quite easy, you know, to sew in a straight line when you've got a guide like this to sew up against. How to make a shopper bag that folds into itself. Oh, I haven't done one of those. Not on YouTube. That'd be a quick one to do, wouldn't it? Bearing all these suggestions in mind, if you're going to be here every week, I need a whole arsenal of projects to bring you. How to make a shopper bag lovely. Connie, it's practice took me a long time to get used to using a rotary cutter, let alone a rotary cutter without a ruler, but I find it quite easy. Do be careful with your rotary cutters though, they are very sharp. Okay, let's go into the corner. Back around. Oh, I thought I lost my coat hanger. Let's just take that pin out. And that one. Oh, I was going to say, remember I've got the kids' videos. Oh, I'm glad they like them. And I'm glad you remember the club as well. Right, so down into the corner. And then across the bottom. Alison, with the rotary blade, you can tell how often it needs changing because it just won't cut through all of the fabric. So that's when I change it. So mine is probably, I don't know, once every couple of days, maybe not once every 3 days, something like that. But I do an awful lot of cutting because I do an awful lot of sewing. So you probably won't need to change it that much. If you just be careful, as in don't. Make sure there's no pins on the table before you start cutting, because you go over one pin, your blade's ruined. It'll take a little chunk out of it, so when you do cut, you get a piece every now and again that's not cut through. So if you look after your blade like that and don't drop it, always make sure you put the guard on. That's for your safety as well as the blade's safety. Then they should last you a few weeks. Oh no, Janet. Yeah, they are very sharp. Do be careful. My husband actually dropped one on his foot. Still got all of his toes. Change the blade or when it doesn't catch properly. Yeah, that's about it. There's no real rules there, is there? You're not kidding, Cher. Right, let's turn this all off. I've left the hole at the bottom rather small. But it's coming through whether it likes it or not. Yes, I have UCF Mum. I have Sewing Room Secrets Essential Skills for Dressmakers. If you have a wind back right to the beginning of the video when we're finished, then I tell you all about it. It's launching on Sewing Street shopping channel on the 7th of February, still to be confirmed. And it is on pre-order on my website, but I can't post it out for a couple of weeks after then. Oh, dreadfully hot. Hot is never dreadfully hot either. 10:25 in Australia. Oh, lovely. I'm so pleased that you're messaging. All my books are on Amazon Victoria, yes. Or you can buy directly from Search Press, from my publishers, and they are available in most major bookstores. We have this. So now I'm going to give it a quick press again. Now if I'm in my sewing room, I'd have the big steam iron on for this, because Bozel really does like a blast of steam to smooth out all of the wrinkles. Thank you, Margaret. Let's go here. Right. Just need to poke out that corner and make it a little bit more square. With the bottom here where I had the hole, I'm going to top stitch all the way around the edge. And let's pop that inside there. And I'm just going to iron that, and then when I sew around the edge, it'll close it over. That's not tight enough in there. There we go. Like so. Thanks, Julie. I'm glad you like the colours. They're nice and cheerful, aren't they? It's nice to work with colours when it's miserable outside, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to sew all the way around the edge. Oh, I was going to poke that corner out, wasn't I? I'll be fine. So I'm going to lengthen the stitch again. You'll find if you're sewing with very thick fabrics like this is now, or with anything with a lot of wadding, that it can slow your machine a little bit. So by lengthening the stitch we can kind of speed it up a little bit. So that's folded in there. Stop with the needle down in the corner and then carry on. Oh, hi Karen, don't worry about missing the beginning, the video stays on here, so you can knit back if you want to. While I'm stopping there, I've got to cut these little threads off, can't stand those. And then into the corner here. Now with these straps I'm going to actually sew them down, because these aren't going to come off the coat hangers, but if you wanted to put buttons on there, or a bit of Velcro, that would work. So going into the corner here, turn around. Back of the car seat is a really good idea. You can, what I would do is, instead of having the two straps at the top like I put on like that to go on the coat hanger, I'd put one piece of quite inch thick elastic around there, and then another piece of elastic around the bottom that'll go around the whole of the car seat. So rather than just having something that's hanging off the headrest, then you've got something that's actually tied to the car seat, because car seats tend to be at an angle, don't they, so you don't want it flopping around. And that into the corner there, and snip. So almost finished. Let's just cut off those loose threads there, because I like to keep it tidy. So now it just needs to go onto the hanger. Have I got some glue? Yes, I have. So you can ask the questions and answer them all at the same time. Fancy hook to hang a coat hanger. You can buy those, can't you? You must have a look out for those, like the bars with the fancy wrought iron tops on. Those are really nice. Oh, Maureen, I'm fine. Do a few back stitches. So I'm just talking to yourselves again. It's a drawer organiser, Charlotte. Right. Love it when they have a conversation together. So these are going to go over here, and I am actually going to sew those down, but I'm going to hand sew them. So to make, because I've got a raw edge at the end, and I don't want to see that. We don't like a raw edge. So I'm going to fold that over, and I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on here. So that's going to stop the edge from fraying. Quite happy to use glue when it comes out on my projects. This isn't going to go in the wash or anything, so it doesn't really matter. I need the end of that poking out with a pin. Hello, Kazimierza from Poland. Club members site, you're new to sewing. My club is the Half Yard Sewing Club. It's open to anybody all over the world, and there are 3 projects a month, and they're all very varied, so different genres of sewing, and we are doing a month free subscription at the moment. I'll put some links at the in the description when we finish the live, so you can have a look if you like, and have a go with the free month if you wish. And ciao to you too, Anna in Rome. So again, let's fold that up, making sure that they're both the same. So the glue's going to hold this in place before I sew, but it also strengthens the join there. Do be aware though that if you're going to use glue like this fabric is not going to come off. So if I want my coat hanger back, I'm going to have to cut those off. But again, if you wanted to put buttons on there, so you can undo them and do them, that's fine. Put a bit more glue there. This is Gutermann HT2 glue, which is incredibly strong. And all over my fingers. This is the type of glue that I would use if I'm putting a metal purse frame onto fabrics. the fabric will tear before it actually comes out of the purse frame. So you could probably just hang this up just with the glue alone. Velcro would be a good idea, Murray, as well. But I'm just going to put a few hand stitches around there, but I'll do those later on. Mandy's just found me by chance. Hello. Now then, I did send out an email this morning to my subscribers, Mandy, saying that there was going to be a live, I hoped, because this is the first time that I've done it, on both channels. So if you need to subscribe and then press the little bell, the alarm bell, and then you'll get an alert, because I did send one out this morning. Hi Larry in Virginia. Oh, right. So that's it. That's how we're looking. So again, it's not huge, but it's handy. Put as many pockets in there as you want to. My original idea was to make this a really, really long one, so it goes the whole of the length of the door, and I just think it makes for very handy storage in areas that are normally wasted like that. But that's quite small and neat, and you could even put it on the back of a chair. Just like with the car seat though, I'd maybe put some straps at the bottom to go around just to stop it flapping around a little bit. I'm glad you like it, Mari, thank you. Poppers would work as well, and thank you, Melvin. Yeah, the notifications, device in settings, okie doke. Thank you, Alison. Hello, Olivia from Philadelphia. Back of door storage, Pauline, thank you. Okay, well, we're just about out of time here. So we've decided we're going to do this every week, haven't we? So we'll be back again next Saturday at 11 o'clock UK time. So keep your comments coming through. It's always lovely to hear from you. And if you have any suggestions, again, as to the things that you'd like to see, then come and let me know. The ironing board, Joanne, 2 weeks ago on my Facebook Live, I made the ironing board. So yeah, if you wanted to just take a look a couple of weeks back, it's got I'll tell you quickly, it's got cardboard inside there, but it's corrugated cardboard, and I used it in 2 directions. If you use corrugated cardboard just in one, it can bend, but if you have the corrugation going this way and going that way, it's a really sturdy, that won't bend or twist, and I've got about 4 or 5 layers. Then I put, you can hear it actually, what's it called, tin foil, baking foil around there, and that'll stop the damp going into the cardboard, and it also reflects the heat back again. Then I put some wadding around it, and then I put a cover on it, but the whole thing is on YouTube a couple of weeks ago, so have a look back there. Oh, wrong camera again, wasn't I? I was doing all this and you couldn't see me, so that was it basically. Have a look 2 weeks ago on YouTube, sorry about that. Okay. Yep, I will do, Christine, that's good. Catherine, hi from Australia, love it, I've seen what you're saying. Lovely. Thank you so much. I know, Maggie, I'm pressing wrong buttons, aren't I? Thanks, Angie. Am I up to date with everyone? Yeah. If you'd like to join me on my website on Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, I should be live there as well. You can leave comments, but not if you're on a phone. I don't know why that doesn't seem to work. So you need to be on a tablet or a laptop to leave comments on the website. Otherwise, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this morning, and I really appreciate you joining me as well, and sending all your comments in. It's given me a real buzz. It's been lovely. So I shall see you, if not on Wednesday, right here, same time, same place, next Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to make a purse. So thank you for being with me today. Bye-bye.